Hey everybody, it's Greg again here from Woodard Marine. Today we get to look at the Supra SA. Supra is where luxury meets performance, and SA is where 22.5 feet of awesomeness, wakes and waves, meets 3,500 pounds of standard ballast. Let's take a look. Starting at the back of the SA, we're going to look at a couple things that I think are really important. Underneath the boat, you've always got Supra swell wake plate and their surf tabs. These tabs allow for amazing, surf waves, wakeboard waves, but what they also help with is leveling the boat out. So if you have a disproportionate weight distribution in your boat and you're headed down the lake, the boat can actually sense that and level out the boat using those tabs. We've also got Supra's very intuitive dock thrusters, dual dock thrusters mounted right underneath the back platform here. We'll show you right at the helm how to get the back of the boat to turn left or right, which is, if you know anything about inboard boats and backing up, it's a huge advantage for any captain. Standard rear camera that comes on when the boat goes into reverse will let you know if something's behind you, and you can also access at any point in time to see riders just getting their boards on, sitting in the water, see how much rope is let out. Gives you an idea just with the increase in freeboard on here, what's going on back here. Really nice feature there. Also for the surf crew and anybody who loves music, the rear controller on here allows you to change the surf wave right and left from the touch of the dial back here, adjust pause and play features, tracking, and volume right from the back controller. And then everybody's favorite feature, which is the rear board locking compartment. So you can lock 3, maybe 2, a little bit thicker surfboards back here. You've got storage for 2 to 3 boards here. And then you've got storage for 6 boards on the tower itself between the bimini and the rack. So, that's 9 to 10 boards without even touching any of the interior space, which is an awesome advantage. Let's take a closer look at the interior. On the interior of this SA, we've got a great color scheme, but I want to show you the Chiltec interior real quick. So this material allows you to choose a color like black or this light graphite, and it's going to be no hotter than a standard white vinyl. This is not a new material. It's been in the marketplace for a few years now, and we've seen it perform very, very well with these darker colors. So the nice thing about that is you can choose those nicer color schemes that kind of give you something a little different that you're going to see in the waterway, like the black, and not have to worry about burning your skin or having that hot feel with some of the younger passengers you might have. This boat was optioned with the black Chiltec, light graphite, and then if you look really closely, you can see a pecan interior stitch, which matches it with the floor. And it's also got a khaki accent on there, which matches the iced coffee exterior. Really great combination, interior and exterior on this boat. No detail was missed when optioning the color scheme on this boat. We really like this one. Of course, I just gave you a little sneak peek of the flip-up back seat, so you can sit here, lounge while you're waiting for riders to get ready, or if you're hanging out at the sandbar and you just want to not necessarily be in the water but be a part of the party, you can do that. Of course, I showed you the audio controller, which is right there as well. So this is the person who's in charge of the audio when you're at the sandbar as well. Hopping into the interior, we get a chance to look at the entire layout. Now, that Chiltec interior is super supple. It is like an automotive, a superior automotive leather. It has a little bit of stretch to it, and then the backing that Supra puts in their foam just gives you a really luxurious feel, something that you've come to expect if you've ever sat in a Supra in the recent years. In terms of how the vinyl and the foam seating and the comfort and how it wraps around, it is a really, really nice interior. If you haven't had a chance to sit in a Supra, we invite you to come down to our showroom, schedule a time to get a chance just to sit in one. Usually that makes all the difference. This interior, of course, a couple things that are standard with the entire Supra lineup is their rear facing and folding seat table. So I grab the seat here, slide it back. With one hand, I can flip up, which exposes the tabletop. Pull up on that once, and it locks into place. You have a high top table where you can put your, let's say, your cheese and crackers and few cup holders here for beverages. If you have, again, we're talking about some of those younger passengers, you could seat a couple kids right here, and then you know that the chips aren't going to go flying all over the boat. Of course, some people don't allow chips in their boat. Not a bad idea. The tabletop flips one more time. This was the step down that we see as we walk down through the walk-through on the boat, and they have cushions here for 2 rear-facing seats. You got 1 rear-facing seat here, 2 here for 3, and then of course a little pop-up here for just a little lounge as well. And then the OB seat can be another rear-facing seat. So you got a lot of stadium viewing to look back to see all the water sports that are happening behind the boat. And then the driver has got this nice mirror that's going to give them a nice 180-degree view of everything that's happening behind the boat, even when the rider's way out to the side. If I want to put this back down, one push right there, and we're back down to our step down. When the riders are done coming back through, you got this nice walk-through that brings them down through the middle of the boat. Underneath on the deck here, we have our inboard cooler. It's a nice cooler. It's underneath the deck too, so your ice is going to stay extra long. And there's a drain down there, so if you did want to pull the drain, let the water out, that's really nice. As far as amenities inside the boat itself, there's cell phone chargers everywhere, cup holders everywhere. This boat is rated for 15 passengers. This boat is rated for 16 passengers. 16 passengers, 3,500 pounds of ballast. You've got a lot of amenities. You're going to have a great day in the water with this, and you're going to be able to take everybody with you. Let's take a closer look at the dash. The dash is going to be the same among the entire Supra lineup, and we'll jump to that now. On the entire Supra lineup, you have the heads-up screen and the side view vision screen, which are touchscreens. And I just want to take a second to take you through exactly what each of those is able to do and represent. So on the side screen here, we do have our tri-fold view on here that allow us to control our stereo, the auto wake screen, and then our switches. For our switches, just starting down below, we have switches for our lights. So you can turn all off, all on, customize what your switches do, as well as turn each of the tower, mid-level, underwater, and control all of the RGB lighting to the intensity and the color that you'd like. When we move over to blower switches, build switches, we have our electronic controller for our driver's seat, as well as the heated buttons for our heated seat for the driver and passenger. And we can turn on our heater from this angle as well. One fold up is our auto wake screen that allows us to choose the type of sport that we're doing. Choose if we're surfing, we can surf left or right. We see our pitch and roll numbers here. We can control our ballast numbers, so we can control the exact number of ballast percentage that we'd like to have, as well as we can just hit fill all if we want 100% ballast in the entire boat. Fill all. When we're all done, we can hit drain all. On the go, as you saw here, on the go means we're in manual mode. So when I hit the throttle, cruise control is going to be off, and auto wake is not going to engage. If I want to engage auto wake in surfing, wakeboarding, skiing, or just cruising, or back to dock, I can choose each of these profiles, and they're going to do something separate for me. For back to dock, they're going to dump all ballast down to 0, keep my smart plate at 50. They're going to use those tabs that I mentioned in the back to level the boat out, and it's going to put my auto presets into cruise. So just by hitting cruise and activate, I'm allowing myself to have all of those features activate under one activity, one button here, which is back to dock. For cruise, same idea with the leveling, the cruise smart plate, but again, there's no change in ballast on this one. So back to dock dumps the ballast. This one is going to have no change in ballast. So let's say we have 75% ballast in there. We're going to go pick up somebody at the dock. We don't want to dump that ballast because we're going to go back out to a safe place to go surfing on the lake, and we're going to go back to surfing. We don't want to dump that ballast out and then have to refill it. Then that would be inefficient. So it allows us to just set a cruise control at 25 level and head over, pick them up, and come back. Skiing, we're not going to want any ballast in there whatsoever. It's going to dump that out. Auto wake is going to be off. The speed's going to be set to 32. So each one of these for wakeboarding has a little bit different. This is wakeboarding profile advanced, wakeboarding profile beginner, or just the wakeboard profile. So a little bit difference in the speed, different intensity in the ballast, and then surf. which is going to be a lower speed, 10.8 miles an hour. You can also control that speed and change that speed right here on the back of the steering wheel. There are buttons. So if you see your cruise control, you could change that by 0.1 miles an hour up and down to the speed that you desire. Some people like to ride at 10.8, some people like to ride at 11.2. Gives you that customization, I should say, and ability in here. And then the next fold up is our audio screen. So we see audio of what we would be playing. You connect your phone, or if you listen to the radio, you'd see that here. You'd see your volume intensity, and then the zones. Each one of these zones for the bow, the subwoofers, the dash, the tower, and the cockpit each have their own zone, and I can turn those zones on and off or change the intensity of those zones at my own discretion, which is really great for customization. If I want to save those presets, I can do that as well. Jumping over to the heads-up display here, fold that down just slightly, is a tilt wheel as well. And a lot of the functionality that we're talking about is available on the steering wheel as well, but I want to show you the screens because it's just such a intuitive and innovative way that Supra has laid these controls out for us. So again, we see some redundancy between the auto wake screen and what's here. So we do have the ability to control surf left, surf right. We see our plates, pitch and roll, all available right here on the screen. And we can use that to, one, monitor, or we can say surf left, surf right, and we can control those plates here. We can also file through. So we have this is our GPS screen. This is our thruster screen, which we'll go over in a second. And this is our camera. That's our transom camera, and we have a tower camera. So we can choose between the two cameras that are on there. This screen also has a split view. On this side, whatever I choose on this side can be different on this side. So I have audio here and I have cameras here. If you're on a lake, a bigger lake, or somewhere where you travel with a GPS view and you want a bigger GPS view, you can just hit that and the whole screen becomes a GPS and leaves your multifunction gauge here for wake plates, fuel, RPMs, and speed, as well as your cruise control on and off right here on the screen. All of it's at the touch of a fingertip. Really well laid out system. Gives you the ability to really control the entire boat how you see fit and customize it to what you want to see. Every single owner, driver, and rider tends to use it a little bit differently, which is awesome. I think that's really the intention of how Supra set this up, so that you can customize it to what's important for you. One really great feature that we have here is our thrusters, which I'll bring over on here. Boat's not in the water right now, so I can't show you everything that there is to do with thrusters, but what you see on here is dock hold intensity. So you can change the intensity of these thrusters to the amount of thrust that you would want or need to hold yourself to the dock. When the boat's turned on and in the water, you can actually choose left or right to hold the boat using those thrusters against the dock. Still recommend using a fender or some kind of barrier in between you and the dock. But it holds you there so that, you know, if you're someone's just going to run up to the house, I got to grab the life jacket or whatever, and you may or may not want to have a person there holding it on the dock, you can use the dock hold intensity to hold you against the dock. The other thing that I want to show you right down here is the thruster, which is built into the controller for the throttle itself. This is a really great feature because those thrusters, like I mentioned, you know, offer a great way for you to control an inboard boat. If you've ever driven an inboard boat before, you know that there's a little bit of a difference between an outboard, stern drive, and a true inboard like a Moomba or Supra. And it gives you the ability with the thruster to choose the direction that you want the back end of the boat to go, left or right. But what I really like about it is I can actually be in gear, thrusting left or thrusting right. And that's all you need to do to control that, is just turn it just that little amount. It's going to kick on the thruster and it'll stay on for as long as you hold it in that direction. So you could do a full 360 all the way around, or you could give yourself just little bursts left or right as you're coming into a dock, counteracting for the wind or the prop pull on the boat itself. One of the things about the SA's bow is because of the style line of this boat, the width stays pretty wide all the way to the tip of the bow on here, so you get a nice wide big bow area on here. Of course, it has Supra's acrylic block off. You can close the windshield and use your heaters in there and keep the airflow from coming through here. They come standard with a bow filler cushion. You can take that out if you like. Some people like to have the walk-through space all the way up to the front cushion here to get in and out. I personally like to have the bow filler cushion in here just as an extra space because you've got 2 forward-facing seats and then you've got a nice rear-facing seat. So you can put 3 people comfortably up here, 3 adults for that matter, comfortably up here, and probably 4 to 5 children if you really wanted to. Cup holders, cell phone chargers, bow speakers, nice big grab handles on here with a textured finish to it. You know, as much as the bow is a forgotten about piece of boats nowadays, it's really just as luxurious up here in the bow as it is in the back of the boat in this SA. If you have questions about this SA, give us a call or go to woodardmarine.com or stop in our showroom. We'd love to show you more about the boat and see if it's the right one for you.